September 28th, 2021, Reno County Commission to order. And we welcome Daniel on Zoom this morning. And at this time, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance followed by a morning prayer by Pastor Tim Kraft of First Church of God.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor.
Let's pray. Thank you, Lord, for another amazing day. Thank you for the fall harvest, the abundant crops. Thank you for this great country called the United States of America and its most amazing Constitution. Lord, we have something here that no other country in history has ever had. Help us not to lose it or carelessly give it away. We know, Lord, that many things are not as they should be and not as they were created to be. We need your wisdom. You said that if we lack wisdom, we should ask you. So I ask you for it. Your wisdom gives us insight into our situations, gives us solutions, gives us knowledge of the outcomes of those solutions. And oftentimes, Lord, we don't know what to do. So our eyes are on you. Thank you for caring about us. Because what matters to us matters to you. And what matters to you should matter to us. May all in attendance here desire your wisdom and insight. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Welcome everyone here, and at this time, I would like to have those who are receiving this proclamation for National Recovery Month come up, and I'll read this to you. Whereas the misuse of alcohol and illicit substances cost our country hundreds of billions of dollars every year, and we also see the devastating cost on quality of life and mortality that even rural America and Kansas is not immune to. And whereas the impact stretched from families to the workforce, from schools to the medical community, and all feel the effects, and whereas recovery is a process of change through which people improve their health, wellness, build resilience, live self-directed lives, and strive to reach their full potential by better managing health, home, purpose, and community. Furthermore, the Reno Recovery Collaborative is one of the local resources for recovery and resilience-based services. And furthermore, that by building a durable network of community partners from the medical and behavioral health sector, social services, law enforcement, persons with lived experiences, and Oxford houses, the Reno Recovery Collaborative partners are poised to offer and refer families the means to build resilience, offsetting the effects of acute childhood experiences and reducing the public cost of substance use disorder. And furthermore, everyone in Reno County plays a part in a person's journey of recovery by showing support and understanding, and by being a part of the continual progressive cultural shift that Reno County has been leading the charge on and instilling in the hearts and minds of its children. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Reno County, Kansas, that September 2021 shall be known as National Recovery Month. In witness, we have put our signs on this. So thank you very much for all your efforts. And make a comment, please. And here, present that to you.
Just want to definitely thank the Commission for your support in this. We know this is a community effort, one of those adaptive challenges that we talk about within our community, but it also can be solved with collaborative leadership. So we definitely appreciate all in attendance, and especially our Commission in the support of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think these are just a few of the people, just a few of the and our employees of Reno County, the people that work for you, that do such a good job. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who makes Reno County what it is. Thank you. This time we'll have an opportunity for public comments not on the agenda. See anyone? Are there any additions or revisions to the agenda? Commissioner Friesen?
No, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Sellers?
No.
Randy?
Need to add an executive session for attorney-client up to an hour at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Or beginning at 10 a.m.
Okay. At 10 o'clock, we will be going into executive session for a attorney-client privilege information. And, so, any
Chairman, I would move that we approve the amended agenda.
I'll second the motion. No further discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Friesen? Commissioner Sellers?
Now we're stuck.
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst?
Yes. Just note to Commissioner Friesen, but via Zoom, we can't connect right now. Okay? On the consent agenda today, we have vouchers and a moratorium resolution on commercial wind energy conversion systems. Randy, any comments, or commissioners, is there any comments with regard to that, to the consent agenda?
Well, first, Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second the motion. Daniel, did you hear that?
Yes.
Commissioner Sellers moved to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I do have a question, and I guess I'd look to you or staff for their explanation. We have the resolution for providing a temporary moratorium on commercial wind. I had some people call me that did not understand the purpose of the exercise that we're going through, and so I guess I'd like either you or staff, whoever feels comfortable, to explain the purpose of moving this way instead of the commission making a decision without moving this way.
Randy, do you want to cover that? Or?
I can begin, and I'll let Joe jump in if there's any additional part. The original instructions or intent from the Planning Commission when they held public hearings last year was to come up with CWEX energy regulations that did not ban wind. That was their understanding. That was the intent of the public hearings, and that's how it was published. The publications for the hearings said it was for wind energy conversion systems regulations. So that's all the input they received. Public comments were based on that. Then when the county commission started making changes, or it became known that they were wanting to ban wind or put a ban at least in these zoned areas, it made legal sense, practical sense on the, I call it like due process, but for people to have an understanding and have the chance to participate in public hearings, to know that the new focus is to ban wind in the zoned areas, not have wind energy regulations in the zoned areas. So to protect the county of any possible lawsuits in the future, legal counsel and our consultant, Russ Eby, recommended going back, having the Planning Commission have public hearings that stated there was going to be a ban in the zoned areas, or they were looking at banning wind energy conversion systems in the zoned areas. So it's kind of the process to be more upfront about the intent of the public hearings and where the commission was going. That's kind of why the recommendation from staff was to put a moratorium in place while the Planning Commission had public hearings that dealt with the ban of wind in the zoned areas instead of the previous public hearings that were about wind energy regulations that did not ban wind.
I think that's a pretty good explanation. Joe, do you have anything more to offer?
No, I agree with Randy, and specifically the direction from the Board of County Commissioners when the matter was referred to the Planning Commission to develop or consider the development of wind energy regulations that specifically allowed for the production of wind energy. That was the direction. And so the notices that went out and the crux of the hearing was to develop reasonable regulations and not to consider banning commercial wind energy conversion systems as a whole. There's a decision of the Supreme Court in 2011 out of Wabunsee County that's somewhat on point, which the Supreme Court looked at the public hearing that took place when the legislation was drafted, cited factors that the board in its decision took from that public hearing. Also, staff looked at the county's comprehensive plan adopted a number of years ago, and it involves minimal information with respect to wind energy conversion systems. And as a matter of fact, specifically says that it's to be determined by the marketplace. So staff also thought that the comprehensive plan needed to be reviewed and revised to consider additional factors that would bear on not only the development of wind energy, but the prohibition of wind energy. And for all of those reasons, we thought that the process would be much cleaner and more transparent. Whatever decision this Board of County Commissioners makes when new proposed legislation comes before it, as well as the pending recommendation for zoning regulations with respect to wind energy, and that any decision that the board makes might well be appealed is not going to, what we're doing will not prevent anybody from appealing to the district court the decision that you ultimately make in this case. But we think whatever decision you make would be better legally supported if we follow this process.
Okay. Thank you very much for those explanations. I think that much better explains what happened at our last meeting. My only other comment on this issue is the resolution in front of us today says that it will remain in effect until March 15th, 2022. I'm told by staff that that's a drop dead date, but I think the intent of this commission is to have this back to us much sooner than that. And from what you've learned in the last 2 weeks, Randy, is that possible to get this back to us sooner than that date?
It should be. I talked with Don Britton yesterday, and he has indicated that they plan on having it at a meeting in December, the first meeting in December, assuming everything goes as planned at the public hearings. So yes, it should be by December by the end of December as originally directed by the commission.
I think that goes in without saying that December 27th is when we should have that report back. And it's my understanding that the wording changes with regard to both the comprehensive plan and the zoning regulations will be presented in the October meeting to the Planning Commission, and that should give adequate time to hold public hearings on this matter. There's also another part to this besides just the moratorium, and that moratorium is for the whole county. And the other item that was approved was setting up a special zoning district only for commercial wind energy conversion systems. And that will also entertain a hearing needed for the public to comment on, and that will be going on at this same time period, from what I know. And that also should be presented on the December 27th commission meeting. And there will be adequate time for public comments and hearings on this. Understand? Commissioner Friesen, any other comments or any comments from you?
No.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
What resolution number is this?
2021-21.
Thank you.
So we'll take roll call on the approving vouchers and the moratorium for the resolution 2021-21.
Commissioner Friesen,
Yes.
Commissioner Sellers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. All right. Business items. For once, Tom, you don't have to sit around and wait very long. So District Attorney annual update, and we do appreciate the information that was provided to us. So,
Good morning.
go ahead.
You want me to read 3.5 pages worth of text to you guys? But I won't do that. Just quickly, I did submit a written report. It goes over some of my background with the office, what we're responsible for, and kind of enumerates all of our responsibilities in the office. We do have prosecutors involved throughout the state and different organizations representing the county to make sure that Reno County's interests are represented, for an example, for legislation and those types of things. We have currently 19 staff, and I've enumerated those for you on page 2. We are seeking to fill a prosecutor's position. I'll get a little bit more to that in a minute. We have a very high caseload. We continue to carry one of the highest caseloads in the state for attorney. One of our projects that I'm very pleased with is drug court. I was involved with the establishment of the drug court here. It's done a good job. We've been graduating people at a fairly decent rate this year. And the good thing about it is most of those have not come back from the court. So that's the whole idea, is for people to get out of their old way of doing things and being productive citizens. And I think the drug court's doing a pretty good job of that. Budgets, we're on budget for this year at this point. As of the 31st of August, we're 64% of our FY 2021 budget. The issues that we have in the office, the glaring issue is the filling of the open attorney's position. I've had discussions with the commissioners and with Randy about this. My biggest issue at this point in time is our salary range. As you know, the salary range we have right now is set up from a salary survey back in 2015. All of my junior prosecutors are making less money right now than the market salary that was established for that survey. So none of them are making market. The range that I'm able to offer for the position that's open is very low. We had an attorney general's call last week, in which our office sponsored attorneys from all over South Central Kansas in a training session with the attorney general. The attorney general was present. We had a discussion about this issue, about attracting prosecutors, because we're not the only office in the state that's having this issue. but they offer their attorneys to start by at least $6,000 a year. So we are way behind the curve, and I'm not being able to attract at this point any applications. I received one application from our advertising over the last 2 weeks. So we're in kind of dire straits. I was talking to Mark Bennett, who's a Century County attorney. His commission is talking about offering signing bonuses for the prosecutors, and even possibly paying some of their college debt. I discovered yesterday that only 2 of my attorneys in my office are free of their law school debt, and the remaining debt ranges from about $40,000 to about $236,000. So it's expensive to go to law school, a lot more expensive than when I went. My loans are paid off, fortunately. That's a big chunk out of someone's paycheck. So if you just think about how much they have to pay for just on their student loans, well, we need to do something. I know that this commission has done that. She did the salary survey. I'm just anxiously awaiting the results of that, and they need to commission action so that I can advertise at that higher salary range. Maybe we can get some people coming in here. We've got a good reputation for the office. It's not that. It's just that I understand that law schools cut their admission rates by about 20% about 4 years ago. So there are less lawyers being produced across the state, and we're not doing a really good job as prosecutors in recruiting people to the field. And that was one of the discussions that we had with the Attorney General and the prosecutors who were here last week. So hopefully we will be able to bring someone in that is experienced and that has already passed the bar exam. That's been an issue for me this time, this go around. The only other issue, I'm thankful that you're looking at expanding our working area upstairs and remodeling the 5th floor. I think that will help considerably in some of the issues that we have. And the other thing is the air quality up there because of the water issues we've had. We've had some air quality issues. I went out and bought an ionizer for my office, and my staff is reporting fewer headaches, less problems with allergies, and even I am having less problems with allergies. So we've taken some proactive steps to do that, but especially in our diversion office, there needs to be some look in there to see if there's mold and mildew remediation that needs to take place, because it's a very foul smelling area in my office. My staff's doing a really good job on jury trials. We were up at a high of about 130, and we're down to about 80 now, because we have tried cases, and we've also found just and reasonable plea agreements with some of the defendants' attorneys. So we are making progress on the jury trial numbers. And with that, I'll stand for any questions that you might have.
I did have occasion to visit with one of your staff on Saturday, right after the water hit in. She was supposed to be working at the fairgrounds and had to come back, and felt like she needed to come back. She wouldn't have to, but felt like she needed to come back, and because of the workload that everybody was having up there, to come back in and on her free time and help clean up. Unfortunately, people know, fortunately, they had foresight enough to cover the computers.
Yeah.
So they didn't get water damage.
We have some water damage on the desks in that area and the counter as you walk in. My understanding is that the contractor's insurance will pay for that. We're going to wait till our contractors are done to do anything, because we don't want to replace everything and then have the same problem happen again. I'm not confident until their work is completed that their temporary measures to keep water out are going to be effective.
It's not too hot now. They should be able to work on that.
I certainly hope so, because
I think Randy will probably push that, and he'll probably push.
At one point we had water going from the 5th floor down to the 4th floor on the stairway like a waterfall. So yeah, it was coming down pretty good.
Tom, I appreciate your complete report salary-wise and so forth. And I know we're expecting the salary report very, very soon. Brandy, the water issues, are they solved? I'm just surprised that there was an issue with this water thing from the contractor. It seems.
My understanding is the tarp or the protection that they put at the dome was not tied down properly or wasn't secured. So there were some problems. That has been addressed. That should not happen again.
And your understanding that their insurance is going to cover their attorneys?
We've talked with them, yes, I believe so.
Well, that's definitely gone on longer than anybody felt like it was going to go. And I think, from my understanding, staff is trying to move that along as quickly as possible.
I have absolutely.
Winter's coming.
I have no complaints at all with the staff and the way they've responded. Everybody's been helpful. You just need to be aware of the problems. But I think Randy is working hard along with Harlan and others to make sure that everything is covered and that we're able to operate as normal. It was good foresight on my staff's part to cover those computers after we had the first leak, and so I think we saved the county a little bit of money by doing that.
You in your report you say you've had 10 graduations from drug court since January 1st of this year. What percentage of the people with that event that were in drug court that didn't graduate, or can you refine what your success percentage is there?
I don't have the exact figures. I know our graduation rate is higher than the normal rate of success out of community corrections. Our program is different because it's very intense. We have at any one time up to 32 people in drug court. And so as people move out, we move new people in that need services. They're all what we call high-risk IDs, which means they're the most difficult cases. And so to have 10 people graduate is pretty remarkable. I know one graduate that's working at a local steakhouse, and I go in there every once in a while, and she'll come up to me and give me a full report of how her life's going and all the success that she's accomplishing. She's in school, she's got her kids, she's really turned her life around. And so I've seen some pretty remarkable things in drug court that when I first started looking at this, I would not have thought possible. But it's a very good program. But I can try to get you some of those.
Well, I'm not sure. I think the 35 answers my question of where you're at there. And I appreciate your success report there of the waitress or whatever. In what you do and what the judges do, it's such a hard thing having anything successful. And so it's great that you do have the success that you do.
We have a lot of stories like that in drug court. It's been remarkable.
I appreciated you putting on the 10th year anniversary of the drug court. I hope somewhere some people can see the videos that were taken. I think it would be good for commissioners to see the videos that were taken. It shows the real life stories of a few of those folks who've been through drug court, and it was a very nice program.
I think we're going to show those videos as well to the current drug court participants to give them some inspiration in their lives as well. So yeah, that was a really well done program.
Mr. Friesen?
I appreciate District Attorney's time today and the report. I agree it was a good report. I appreciate everything my team's doing. I guess if there are any issues, I'd be a little less patient about some of the remediation work that we're doing up there, but it sounds like he feels like it's in control. So I had a chance to visit there last week, and it is very nice day up there, and this commission. But I have it until the administration's hands, because it sounds like they've got a plan, and that's what they want to do. I'm also, I guess, less patient on some of these issues related to power, or not power, but the wages that we're paying to attorneys. It's clear that the market is keeping perspective candidates away from us, and I think everybody understands what we need to do. But, so I personally don't find it a significant need to wait, but I don't see a lot of, I don't have a lot of interest in moving out of the larger macro process that we're working on for pay across our staff. But generally, coming from the private sector, I think the public sector does this sometimes, just ties their hands and we know what the result will have to be, so we're looking at alternatives, and so we're innovative and more aggressive would be appropriate. So I would certainly support any forward movement on that as soon as possible. I very much appreciate what District Attorney's team and the rest of the law enforcement and judicial system that's worked in drug court to provide alternatives to people. And so those alternatives have been productive for the girls that have been tried, as well as society as a whole. So I think that's a very innovative and forward-looking system that we need to continue to develop. And I know there was conversation about a mental health court as well, and just being on. I forget what's that monthly meeting we have. Stepping up council. Commissioner Bush was on that, and I got the opportunity to replace him on that. And that's been very enlightening for me. I think, again, a lot of time everybody comes together and they know what we need to do. It's just we don't take the next step and make some of the hard decisions to do it. And so I would continue to encourage everybody that's working on that particular topic, on the heels of the success of drug court, to continue to push forward on this other court for those that are mentally incapacitated. So I, again, appreciate all the work District Attorney is doing, and thank you for you and your team and what you do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next on the agenda is Commissioner Holliday.
Ellen?
Good morning. My name is Helen Foster. I'm the HR Director for Reno County, and I bring before you today our recommendation for the Commissioner Holiday. Every year we come forward to place this on the next calendar year. So this year we'd like to recommend Christmas Eve to Commissioner Holiday. There's also been a recommendation for us to look at maybe making that a permanent holiday instead of a floating holiday, just for scheduling needs of the department directors. It makes it a lot easier. The courts mirrors our schedule too. So every year we're waiting to get the commissioner holiday on the calendar so that we can go forward with planning. So that is what I'm bringing before you today. Do you want any background on it? Would you like any additional information?
Why was the commissioner holiday implemented in 2011?
So the commissioner holiday, from best that I could do with looking back at records, is prior to that we did have a floating holiday that employees could place anywhere during the calendar year that they wished to. That became very hard for departments because employees would wait until the last month of the year. They wanted to get their floating holiday, and then departments were scrambling to make that happen for the employees. So rather than it being a floating holiday, it moved to a commissioner holiday where the commissioners elected where they would place it on the calendar year. And that way it was a set time period. That holiday was meant for employees to be off, so if they were scheduled to work on that holiday, they were able to kind of flex it, but they had to flex it within that payroll. So that is where the commissioner holiday came about in 2011. Of the years that we've had the commissioner holiday, there's only been 2 years that it has not been Christmas Eve. We had it on Columbus Day one year, and then this year we had it for that 4-day holiday at July 4th.
How does that floating holiday affect the landfill operations, since they're limited on the days that they cannot be open?
So I did talk to Megan directly in that avenue, and Megan said that she really felt that Christmas Eve was the better holiday for them at the landfill. And she didn't voice any other concerns in that aspect. So yeah. Department directors all agreed it would be nice to have it on a set time period or date, just so we're not fluctuating it every year. We can have it as a set holiday.
I don't have any firm thoughts on this at all. I'm willing to do what Commissioner Friesen and Commissioner Hurst want to do on this matter.
Commissioner Friesen?
Well, I almost feel like this is an administrative decision. We ought to just delegate this out. Generally speaking, I think giving people time off is important, and I mean, we just heard how we're not very competitive on pay. This holiday schedule is kind of the bare bones, I would say, for a typical expectation of any employee. So, giving people a day off of Thanksgiving, giving them a day before or after Christmas, I think is very reasonable, and frankly, we're just less competitive if we don't do those minimum things. So I think as a general rule, maybe we should determine how many holidays we want to issue, and then let Randy decide how he wants to implement it.
What I'm hearing from the commissioners, and help me understand this, is that for now, you feel like it's positive for this year to do the commissioner's holiday on Christmas Eve, but then to let the administration bring back to us the decision on whether they would like, along with HR and the department heads, whether they would like to have this as a permanent. Is that?
Commissioner, that's kind of what this is. This, I believe, Helen's recommendation from working with the benefits committee is to get rid of the commissioner holiday, and December 24th will be a set holiday, and the rest of it will be set from then on.
So
The department heads all were in agreement that they like that idea, so I didn't get anybody who was opposed to it.
motion to that effect to create a permanent commissioner's holiday, or call it a special holiday?
It'll just, get rid of it. Commissioner holiday will always be December 24th.
I'd make a motion to approve the recommendation by Helen as presented in the agenda item. Number B.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the motion regarding the permanent Christmas Eve holiday as a commissioner's holiday. Correct.
The only just commentary I would have just from what we do at our company, I think occasionally, because Christmas kind of roves around in different of the week, occasionally it makes sense to, I think, this is just something to look at. I'm not suggesting any changes to the motion, but occasionally it makes sense to have the day after Christmas, or the 25th, because I can't even tell you why that is, but I think it's because maybe maybe Christmas happened on what do you do if Christmas happens on a Sunday or Saturday?
So the schedule for holidays is if the holiday falls on a Saturday, we observe it on the Friday before. If it falls on a Sunday, we observe it the Monday after.
Okay.
And that's with all of our holidays.
Thank you.
No further discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Friesen,
Yes.
Commissioner Sellers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hurst.
Yes. Got time yet for county administrator's report?
Just wanted to give a quick update on the courthouse, the windows, the project with Pitchney Restoration Services. Last week they gave Harlan kind of a narrative of the project schedule. So the dome repairs, they're estimating the completion date around January 10th, 2022, which is within the 1-year time frame. The plaster work, also January 10th of 2022. The weatherization, also January 10th, 2022. So all of that should be done in early January. The windows is a little longer, so they're estimating the end of March to finish the windows. So that is taking a little bit longer. I know the commission, at the last commission meeting, I think, talked about maybe getting an update on the project status. That's kind of where we're at right now on the windows. They expect to have everything in the basement, first floor done in October, November. They expect the second floor windows to be complete, and then in December, the third floor windows to be worked on, but not to be done with the third floor until sometime in January. They will move to the fifth floors in March, and then the fourth floor in February. That's kind of their estimated time frame right now. The total amount that has been spent year to date on the project is $1.8 million out of the $3.4 million budget. So 53% of the budget has been spent. And of that, $561,000 was paid for with insurance proceeds from the earthquake. Any questions?
I would encourage you to push them with regards to the dome, because earlier on it was too hot to put cement down, concrete. December, it get too cold to put it down. So I would encourage you to press them to get that dome done.
With Harlan today, I think today is this afternoon they have a progress meeting
Does that sound reasonable to the rest of the commissioners?
Yeah, I think we need to get it done as quickly as possible. We've been patient, but I don't think we have any liquidated damages in the contract, so you can only push so much.
Okay. And then the only other thing that I have, just kind of as we talked about the pay study, what Tom had mentioned needing to be approved by the commission. We expect to have a work session with the commission the last meeting in November. I believe the month of November there are 3 commission meetings. So that 5th Tuesday, the plan is, if everything works out on the schedule, is to bring the results back to the commission, have a discussion, and ask for approval of the plan, new pay plan.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Commissioner Friesen, we've got about 10 or 12, 13 minutes. That doesn't mean you have to take it all, though, Daniel.
I'll let you go ahead. I don't have anything pressing today. Thank you.
Commissioner Sellers.
Thought your comment, Mr. Chairman, about thanking the employees for the job that they do for the county earlier today was very appropriate. My experience here on the commission is that we've got a lot of very dedicated, qualified employees that work very, very hard for the citizens of Reno County. And so I thank you for your comment. Maybe I'm jabbing at the administration a little bit, but why did we approve a proclamation today that's for September to have a dedicated month, and we approved it on September 28th?
With meetings every other week, by the time we received it, we didn't have time for it to be on the last meeting. So the first meeting of the month was the 14th.
I would tell your departments to get things to you in line. I just think it's a little silly to approve the month of September as a certain month on September 28th. But, the only other item that I have is I'd like to distribute to the other commissioners. I was not aware that Daniel Friesen was not going to be in attendance today, but I would appreciate if we'll get Daniel to have the county administrator send him a copy of what I'm referring to. I might give the media a copy of this. I'd like this resolution to be put on for our next meeting. It's a resolution amending the salaries for the Board of County Commissioners in 2023. And the gist of it is that in the event that the electors of Reno County approve a change in the number of commission districts from 3 to 5, that the annual salary for each Board of County Commissioners effective for the pay period commencing January 8th, 2023 shall be $10,800 subject to the budget. Just a little tiny bit of background on that. And the background on the County Commission in October 5th of 1998 via Resolution 1998-36 established the office of County Administrator. So it's my feeling very strongly that at that point in time, the duties of the County Commissioners changed. Prior to that time, there was no County Administrator, and the County Commissioners
Please leave a message. Please leave a message after the tone.
The County Commissioners basically ran the departments and so forth. After that point in time, the County Administrator ran the departments. At that time, the County Commission pay was $35,981. It was changed to the existing rate of the $18,000 per year. I feel like if the voters of Reno County approve the November 2nd ballot issue, that there will be less time spent by each commissioner. I think we'll have a better commission, and I've stated why before. And so I'd like for us to debate and consider this resolution at the next meeting. I think that's all the items I have. Thank you.
I have a comment that's probably not really, people that probably don't like to hear this, but I have a feeling that in our rush to go below revenue neutral, that we may not have realized what the effect of printing money has upon inflation that is occurring right now. I think we misunderstood or didn't take a look, or maybe we did, maybe we did. The amount and the rapid increase in inflation that's occurring, and I hope that it's over with in 6 months. But I just think that the public needs to realize that we've got a lot of things going on that we didn't look at. For instance, Tom's, our district attorney, is the effect on inflation. And we've got a lot of materials that are inflated. And in order to provide the services that the public wants, that inflation could really hit us hard in the next, we'll survive 2022, but it's the next budget year that I am concerned with. Should inflation continue its ugly head at 5% or 4% or 3% or whatever it is, that my question is, I just want the public to know that we may need to know what they want for services for sure. I mean, this isn't something we like to talk about at all, but I think it needs to be realized that it's having it will have a real effect on how your county government operates. So I just wanted to make this comment that down the future line, we may have some harder decisions to be made. And Randy, any other comments?
I don't have any others.
Okay. All right. And, so do I understand that our Zoom meeting is available now? So do we want to break for a few minutes?
We need to make a motion for executive session, and maybe I could give a little bit of background information if I could.
And yes, Commissioner, that's who has attorneys that will be with us on the executive session. That's who has joined our Zoom meeting.
Joe Sullivan, County Councilor. In 2018, Reno County contracted with the Oaks Law Firm out of Colorado, or perhaps Wyoming as well, for legal representation in the huge national opioid litigation case that was commencing at that time, in which hundreds, if not thousands, of counties and other municipalities have filed claims, all of which have been transferred and consolidated before federal District Judge Aaron Posner in the state of Ohio. In 2018, Commissioner Deming and Commissioner Hurst were here, so we've had a changeover of 2 county commissioners, and Gary Meager was the county administrator, and of course Randy Partington is here now. So the 2 members of the board and Mr. Partington have not met Mr. Oaks, and it's time. This case is moving on. There are settlement discussions going on a national basis, and we thought it was time that we had a face-to-face meeting with Mr. Oaks to give us a status report on this pending case. There are some decisions which Reno County and all of the claimants are going to have to make, hopefully, in the near future with respect to settlement and other issues. So
with that in mind, and I thought I'd give some as to what this is all about. It's really an orientation for a number of people and an update on where we are and in this particular case. So I would request a motion from a member of this board to recess into executive session. I thought at one time to commence at 10, but I think that I thought we'd have a pause in here. But at some point when you're ready, to confer with the board's legal counsel on a privileged legal matter, that being a status report from Attorney Stephen Oakes on Reno County's claim pending in Federal District Court in the National Opioid Litigation case for a period of 1 hour. Necessary for the discussion, in addition to Mr. Oakes, who will be appearing by Zoom, and perhaps his co-counsel, it's his son. Also, if I see the screen correctly, they will be appearing by Zoom, and I would like County Administrator Randy Partington and myself also to be involved in that meeting. I expect no formal decision following conclusion of the executive session, and at that time the board will resume into agenda session and I believe adjourn for the day. So if someone would make that motion, I've got it here in writing, I can give it to the clerk.
I would make that motion.
And you might indicate what time you'd like to start, Mr. Chairman.
I think it was set up for 10 o'clock, and that's on the agenda for 10 o'clock, and so